Hello there! Today we're exploring the Leviathan Eater of Worlds raid in Destiny 2. As always, hit the sub button if you like the video or if you find it's helpful for you during this event. Now let's get into it. Eater of Worlds is one portion of the larger Leviathan raid set. When you enter his room, you have to first unlock the boss by setting him free from his prison. Luckily, the strategy used here is the same as for most of the fight entirely. Around the room, you are going to see 3 different triangles with 3 fires at each. One which is white, which is arc, one is orange, which is solar, and one is purple, which is void. Also around the room, there will be white icons that look like quest icons. These are skulls you can pick up and carry. These skulls can be placed into each fire at each triangle platform and can be charged after about 20 seconds being placed in the fire. Best to have 2 people at each different triangle, basically spread out in teams of 2. Once you're ready, you can pick up a skull to start the event. Once the event starts, 3 crystal nodes will spawn on the prism on a random side. The goal is to charge a skull for whatever ones you need that match the ones on the prism, and then once charged, pick up the skull and shoot it at the matching colored crystals. As you are doing this, there will be more crystals showing up on the prism going clockwise from where it started. Our strategy for this was to always have one skull charging at each platform with one person running skulls and shooting them and the other person kind of keeping the platform clear of trash. One trick we did notice while doing this is that a crystal only took about 3/4 of a charged skull to break. So in theory, you only need 2 charged skull per 3 of that crystal type. Once you have cleared all the way around, the prison is unlocked and the boss can be activated. So for the boss itself, we kind of use the same principle of 3 teams of 2 at each platform. Obviously, there will be more trash and such, and we use the same strategy of kind of 1 runner and 1 defender for the most part. The boss himself, as most of them, only has 2 phases. The first phase, he just hides behind his shield. On one random side, he will spawn 3 orbs, one on top, one on left, and one on right. The goal here is to, again, match the colors with the skull, but the difference here is they will move as you shoot them towards the metal mechanism in between them. And they have to meet there around the same time. You do have a little wiggle room, but not a ton. It's also important at this point to try to have 3 other skulls charged for a total of 6 charged, because once you put the orbs where they need to go, the shield unlocks and you can use the charged skulls for extra damage to the boss himself, which you will need once the shield comes down. When the shield is down, you want to aim for his head and DPS as much as possible, as you only have 4 times to do this in the entire fight before he enrages. During the time that the shield is down, you have to be careful of 2 things. One is he will glow bright white and fire an AE net at a location, so don't stack up in this part. When someone gets hit by the net, you just have to shoot it to break them free. Second thing is he will shoot black ghosts, normally from up above him, and you just have to shoot them before they get to you, otherwise they do quite substantial damage. Once his shield goes back up, you have a couple minutes before he switches to phase 2. On the second phase, his shield will go away and he will create platforms. The trope here is that you have to DPS race parts of his body so he doesn't explode and wipe your raid. The trick here is about positioning and sustained focus. On 3 different parts of his body are glowing areas. The middle area where his second set of arms are, there will be a glowing portion on each arm. How to tell you are shooting the correct areas by making sure you are getting precision shots and or yellow hits. This part is about sustained damage on the same area, not large amounts of damage, so you want to avoid using rockets and more like auto rifles and stuff like that for sustained damage. Best idea here is to split up into teams of 3 and take each side. So as I said, there are 3 different areas, and explain the arms where you want to be about on the middle platforms. There's also portions under his back which you want to be on the lower platforms, and on the very top platforms you can get to the last 2 which are above his head. Once you break whatever 2 you go after, he will falter, and you can damage him in the head for about a minute until the platforms disappear and he resets to phase 1 again. So you do this in total of 3 separate times, killing 2 parts each time. Now there are issues on this phase with falling off the platforms to your certain doom, which my teammate, mainly Pluvius, did a lot, or the situation that I ran into where I missed the platform and rocketed myself in the face. Either way, mistakes will happen, just make sure you can res yourself to fix it. So in total, you have 7 opportunities to damage him, and past that, he will enrage and it's game over. So make sure you utilize charged skulls for damage as much as possible, and keep the trash maintained so the fight isn't too bad. Good luck and have a great time out there.